Welcome back everybody to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a Halloween scarecrow makeup tutorial. Now I've been seeing these kind of go around and I kind of wanted to add a little bit of my own flair. Starting off, we're going to be using the St. Ives Renewing Collagen and Elastin Moisturizer. Now this works great for me. I tend to have dry skin, but lately I've also been having really oily, acne prone skin. This works great for either one, honestly. I highly recommend it. It's not only nourishing, but it really helps provide a nice base. Next is foundation, and I'm going to be using the Dermacol foundation. This is a super heavy duty foundation. It's really full coverage, which is kind of perfect for a dramatic look like this. You're going to want to take a beauty blender. I'm using the Real Techniques beauty blender. It's really cheap. I think it's about $4 at Walmart, so don't worry about breaking the bank. It works great, and you're going to want to kind of bounce that on your skin and kind of push the foundation in. Make sure your beauty blender is damp. You're going to want to run it under some warm water or lukewarm, and then wring it out with a towel. You don't want it to be dripping wet, but you also don't want it to be too dry. Next is the NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector. This is in the darkest shade possible, but I do wish it went darker. This is going to be perfect if you have dark circles like I do. It counteracts any blue or gray tones underneath your eyes and helps you look less dead. Taking our Real Techniques beauty blender again, we're going to just blend that out underneath our eyes, the same we did the foundation, just kind of buffing it and bouncing it into our skin to kind of blend it in. Taking the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Full Coverage Concealer, I'm using the lightest shade. You're going to want to dot this underneath your eyes and anywhere else that you need some more coverage, and then you're going to want to use your beauty blender again to buff that in. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to take a powder puff and whatever setting powder you want to use. I'm using the RCMA translucent powder, or the no color powder, sorry. And you're going to want to dip your powder puff into that and then kind of triangle it underneath your eyes. This is going to help to bake underneath our eyes and keep it from creasing and set it for later. You are also going to want to place that anywhere that you get creasing or oily, and then you're going to want to take a foundation powder and a brush that you want to set your foundation with. I'm using the Ulta bronzer brush. But you can use any brush that you feel comfortable with. This is going to help to lock your foundation in place and keep it from moving and help resist oil. Don't forget to set your eyelids as well to keep it from creasing, and this will help us put on eyeshadow later on. Time for the brows. I'm using the Salon Perfect Brow Pomade, but you can use any kind of brow product, pencil, any kind of pomade that you want to use. You're going to want to take an angled brush and then start to apply that the way you would normally do your brows. For this look, I definitely recommend a more wild, feathered out brow. It is now bronzer time. You're going to want to go a little bit heavy on the bronzer. We definitely want to look like we've had a tan and been in the sun for a while, since we are trying to look like a scarecrow. We are now at eyeshadow. I'm using the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I just got this palette and I do want to do a swatches and first impressions for you guys. I'm going to be taking this orange shade here and taking a pretty thick blending brush. We're just going to use that into the crease. This is going to be a really simple eye look and especially easy for beginners. Go over your crease a couple times so that you can kind of help the shadow be a little bit more pigmented. Once you've got it pretty pigmented and blended out, you're going to want to take a blending brush that's a little bit more tapered to go underneath your eye. I'm using the Morphe 433, and you just want to take that orange shade and go underneath your eyes. I then switched to a e.l.f. brush that's more dense and a little bit smaller to really kind of pack on the color a little bit better. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm using the Julep, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Julep eyeliner in the Blackest Black shade. You're going to want to go ahead and start to run that along the top and bottom of your eyes. And don't worry about being too neat. It's okay if you get a little messy. It is going to be smoked out and blended later, so don't take too long on it. Go ahead and tightline your eyes, and then taking the Kiss gel eyeliner that I was so proudly holding upside down, you're going to want to take a small brush. This is the brush that came with this eyeliner, which I highly recommend this eyeliner. It's like $4 and it works really well. Kind of start to smoke out that top line, and then you're going to take a pencil brush. I think this is a Sigma pencil brush, and use a black eyeshadow to start smoking out your lower lash line. Now, by this point, once it was smoked out a lot more, you couldn't really tell that there was orange underneath, so I went back in with the e.l.f. brush and started to add some more orange underneath my eyes. Taking a smaller Morphe tapered brush, you're going to want to work a darker orange into the crease. Now, don't make the same mistake I did. Do this before you put on your eyeliner. Or you could just do what I did and then go back over your eyeliner. It really doesn't take too much time. Go ahead and put that darker color into the crease. This step is completely optional. I was just more happy with the look when I did add this step, but you can choose absolutely not to do it. Taking my eyeliner again, I'm going to just go over my eyeliner. Kind of darken it back up after we just went over it with eyeshadow. And then taking our fluffy blending brush again, going... What am I doing? Oh, putting it on the cheeks. We're going to start to put the orange onto the cheeks, kind of like the reference photo that I found, which will be in the description for you guys, and credit will be given to the people that I've kind of found it from. You're going to want to start to put that orange eyeshadow onto your cheeks. On this side, I put it way too close to my nose and mouth. You're going to want to keep it like the other side, where it's a little bit further back on the cheek rather than way up front. Now, to kind of help the eyeshadow blend into my cheeks, I'm taking the Balm blush in the shade Swiss Dot and applying that to my cheeks as well, to kind of help blend it in. Don't worry that it looks a little bit crazy right now. We're definitely going to fix it and tone it down later on, because we want the cheeks to be pretty orange and pretty warm. This step is a pretty good step. Add some to your temples too. It'll kind of give you a more like sun-kissed glow look and like you have been in the sun for a little while. Okay, so now we're starting on freckles. You're going to want to take a small brush and dip it into a eyeshadow. I'm using my brow pomade. I don't know if I would recommend that, especially since I was new to this, new to doing freckles. It is a lot easier to clean up if it's just eyeshadow. So definitely I would recommend using eyeshadow. So here I am using a darker eyeshadow and an even smaller brush, and it does help to look a little bit more natural, and again, cleanup is a lot easier if you go a little too crazy on it. So we're going to want to make it look a little bit more natural and tone it down a little bit. So take a fluffy blending brush that has maybe a translucent powder or a foundation powder, and go ahead and put a little bit onto the brush and then wipe it along any freckles that seem to stand out a little bit too much. After that, we're going to start adding orange to our nose. This is part of the Scarecrow look. You're going to want to apply it in a triangle shape, and then we're going to be using water activated black paint, and take an angled brush and start to kind of outline that triangle that we just created on our nose. Start off with a rough triangle and then start to kind of fill in the dots. Remember, messy is going to be good because we want it to look like it was just threaded and kind of stitched together. Links for everything that I'm using will be in the description, but if you don't have water activated paint, I can't blame you. It's kind of an unconventional item to have. You can definitely use eyeliner, whatever you're more comfortable with, gel or liquid eyeliner. After that, you're going to want to take a Q-tip and kind of wipe away any foundation or powder that we got on our lips, because now we're going to start to outline our lips. So if you have a black lipstick, I definitely recommend using that. Unfortunately, I don't, so I'm going to be using the water activated paint. Kind of start to outline your lips and then fill them in. If you are using paint, don't worry, I'll show you how to kind of make it last. But before we do that, we're going to want to chisel our cheeks out with a contour shade. Remember to use a contour shade that is a cool toned, so kind of the opposite of whatever bronzer you use. Because you really want it to look like shadows, especially if you're a little bit more fuller faced like I am. Use that to kind of go underneath the cheekbones and then underneath your jaw. This is also going to help us with the placement of the paint that we're going to be using pretty soon. So for the cheeks, go ahead and start off not with the liner, but with a black eyeshadow in case you need to kind of redo it. This is going to be a lot easier to fix than a liner or a paint. Start to kind of outline going down towards your mouth. Kind of follow the contour that we just created. That will kind of help be a guide to make it a lot more even and kind of both find the lips at the same point. Start to darken that up a little bit, and then once you're comfortable, you can move on to eyeliner and some paint. As you slowly start adding more and more, start to thicken up the line a little bit and try your best to keep it even. Start to outline the top of your lips and then fill it in. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to start to add some stitches to our lips and cheeks. So basically start to create some lines. You can cross them or leave them sticking out. This is going to kind of create the look of stitches, kind of like a scarecrow would have. Now, I kind of put a line underneath my lips that I didn't like too much, so I kind of quickly got rid of that. If you make any mistakes like that, all you need to do is kind of go over it with some powder or concealer. I used the translucent powder and I just let it bake for a while. It's not too noticeable. Go ahead and run through your brows with a brow mascara type of product, something to kind of help set your brows. And after that, we're going to start applying some black lines to our brows to kind of help accentuate them. I'm going underneath my eyebrows with the paint and then going in and drawing hair strokes in the front. Try and go light with the hair strokes in the front and then go a little bit darker as you go towards the tail. This is going to kind of help create that unsettled, wild scarecrow look. I also then went and add some stitches kind of lines to my eyeliner. along the tail, and then I kind of created some lashes looking type of lines underneath my eyes. I definitely love this step, so if you do any of the paint onto your eyeliner, I definitely recommend doing the faux lashes. I also decided to take a strip and go up to a little bit above my brows. Make sure it's a little bit messy, you don't want it to look too clean cut, and then start to add some stitches, lines across it. I thought this was a really great addition to the Scarecrow look. Then we're going to go in with highlight, of course, using the Balm's Merry Luminizer and a e.l.f. I think blush brush. Use that onto your cheekbones, the temples of your head, and then kind of dust it along your T-zone and underneath your eyebrows as well. After you're done with that, take a smaller brush and try to apply some highlight kind of where your eye meets your nose bridge. You're going to want to not apply it on top of your eyeliner, but right in the corner where it will accentuate the brightness of your eyes when light hits it right. And go ahead and dust some underneath your eyebrows. Do some mascara. I'm using the Lily Lashes. I'm not sure which one it was, but I'll put it in the description. Go ahead and apply your lashes. I am using the Duo Lash Glue, at least. I remember that. After you apply your lashes, you are pretty much done, except for the lips. Now, if you're using lipstick, you probably won't have this problem, but if you're using paint, go ahead and reapply it. And then take a black eyeshadow, and I'm just using my ring finger and patting that eyeshadow onto the paint. This really will help it kind of lock and set in and not be so quick to run. And that is it, you guys. I am so happy to have done this look for you guys. This was really fun, and if you have any more recommendations, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!